Hello, this is Mike O'Reilly. ABA Appliance. I wanted to. I'm back in Scottsdale. I've been gone for about 30 years. My twin brother was killed. Maricopa County Sheriff's Department back March 11th, '94, and just couldn't live here anymore. So moved to a couple different places and ended up in San Diego. I've been there for about 30 years. I'm back. My health kind of has been challenging here the last 5 years, so thought it was time to get back home. I wanted to talk about SubZero restoration kits that I have available. I've been making them available for about the last 13 years. SubZero's been going into homes and their authorized service companies. Customers have been telling me that they're telling them, we can't fix your old units anymore. You have to buy a new one. And that's nonsense. I've been making them available so that these 20, 30-year-old units, they're in great shape. It's just they're 20 and 30 years old, the parts. So, things finally go out. They can be restored. And the sealed system is the compressor, what's called evaporator, heat exchanger, dryer. That's what cools the unit. Then your operational parts like a thermostat, fan motors, gasket. I also make available. I actually sell all SubZero parts. So if you have a SubZero refrigerator, freezer, any kind of refrigeration unit, it's refrigerator part replacements.com. It'll be in the next to the video, the website address. So this is actually, the video is actually for customers that own them, consumers that own the units and don't want to buy a new one. They're $18,000. Plus they're not the same size, most of them. So you got to remodel your cabinets. There's another 5, 10, 20,000. Depends on how far you go. So 18 and 10, 5, 10, it could be 20, 30, $40,000. Customers don't want to do that. They just want they want their old unit to work because it's in great shape. They last forever. They hold up because they're stainless steel mostly. You can do that, okay? If somebody tells you it's an R12 unit, don't worry about that. They can convert them. And if there's an issue with the technician, I will talk to him. They talk about sludge. It's nonsense. It's been a untruth that's been told. SubZero pushes it. You can't convert them. They've been converting cars for 30 years. Everybody's aware of that, probably heard that. They call it retrofitting it, R12 to R134A. And you can do the same thing. I've been doing it. A lot of techs that didn't listen to the garbage, the nonsense. There's no issues. There is no sludge issues, okay? Unless you leave the old compressor in with the old oil. That's the only issue that would cause sludge. And who would do that? So you got to put a new compressor in with the R134A oil in it. Blow the system out, and don't even make a big deal out of that. An engineering firm just proved that you can leave 6% of that old oil in there, and it's not going to even cause sludge. So just drop that text. There's no truth to it. They can be converted. So the restoration kits are anywhere from say $800 to for the sealed system, $800 to $1,000 for the sealed system restoration, compressor, evaporator, heat exchanger, dryer. The complete restoration is the sealed system components plus the operational components: thermostat, evaporator, fan motor, condenser fan motor, gasket. In the case of the freezer, it might be bimetal or something, defrost heater. Excuse me, not defrost heater, but defrost timer control. And the freezer ones can get up into the, like I said, 800 to 1,000. That's the refrigerator ones. Freezer ones. The evaporators are more expensive, and a couple of the parts are more expensive on the freezers for some reason, SubZero. But the outside, you're looking at, if it's a complete restoration, on the freezers, it might be $1,900 for all the parts. So $18,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $1,900, the top end of the restoration kits for the complete restoration kit. $800 to $1,000 for the sealed system restoration kits. $1,100, $1,200. So then you have the labor, and most people are used to labor not being talked about. They'll talk about it when they come out there. I do talk about it. And I'm talking not only to the customer to let you know what you're looking at, and this is nationwide. I've done service all over the country. I was a national trainer for a corporation, traveled all over the country and did service different areas, but also was training techs and opening up service centers in different cities and states. So I've been all over the United States doing service. And I've been doing service for over 40 years, 40 plus years. So when I talk about the labor rate, we don't work on an hourly rate, never have. And most people that have had service company come in for appliance repair or whatever, you're familiar with that. They just give you a flat rate, what's called a flat rate. Doing the restoration, even the word restoration gives people an idea. It's a big job. It is. I say it's kind of parallel to replacing the heart and the lungs and everything in the body, but of course the doctor's not going to agree with that, and I understand that. But it's a big job. So, and you have to be experienced. That's why I use the doctor analogy. You got to be experienced. You have to have expensive tools, thousands of dollars in tools, and be experienced at how to use them and how to do the repair, the sealed system repairs and Freon torches, everything else. Okay? So there's some cost involved. And what I ask is that for the consumer and the technician, service companies, is that you just be fair with each other. We're used to, as a consumer, I'm the same way, you go somewhere to get something done and you're like, okay, what is he gonna quote me? And that's why I like to do this up front, to let the service company and the consumer know what the ballpark is. And it's a big ballpark that I'm gonna give you here in a minute. That's fair, nationwide. So it doesn't matter where you're at. I'm actually talking to Scottsdale, Phoenix, Tempe, Mesa, Apache Junction. I'm talking about metropolitan area, the valley, we call it. But there's a cost involved. So, and it's a decent cost. For a couple things is that, like I said, it's not hourly, so it's a flat rate. The job, if it's just a sealed system repair, it can be 6 hours. If you don't have any problems, it could be 6, 8, 10 hours. If you start getting the complete restoration, or even the sealed system, if you have some issues, and the issues crop up, even if you've been doing it 40 years, you can still run into issues. Somebody else worked on it, they did something different to it, you got to correct all that, all those things. So, it could be 6, 8, 10, 12 hours. So you're going to get a flat rate, and if it does take longer, generally speaking, they're not going to charge you more. It just took them longer, and they're getting frustrated because it's taking them longer. But generally speaking, they don't tack on a couple more hours. So it ends up being fairer to you, because otherwise you would have paid a lot more than what they quoted. So that's what the flat rate basically. It really doesn't matter in a lot of cases, unless it's something that's out of the norm, and then it's like, this isn't what we normally run into, so I'm going to have to charge you a little bit more. And they'll let you know that when they run into it. And just take it with, that's what happens sometimes. And it's not going to be outrageous, I'm sure. If it is, I'm never going to work at that service company again. I'll guarantee you that as a consumer right now. If I have companies that techs and service companies that want to rip off the customer, I'm not going to refer them. I don't have service companies to refer mostly at this time. So when you find somebody, I will generally say, have them give me a call, because I'm going to be supplying the parts to you. Okay? It's going to be different than normal. They're not going to bring the parts out. When they come out there, unless they want to come and take a look at it and then come out again to see how, what the installation in the wall and all that. But generally speaking, they don't. They just come out. They might get some pictures from you. They come out. The parts are going to be there, and they're going to be there one trip to do the job. So, and it's going to be an all-day job, a good part of the day job, okay? So techs, that's a good day's job. Now, labor-wise, national average, you're looking at, and for this very, very big job, you're looking at probably between $1,200 and $2,000, $1,200 and $2,000 labor, okay? Like I said, it's not hourly. And of course, some people are automatically dividing to get their what the hourly rate would be at $2,000. Don't do that. Like I said, if it takes him 8 hours, or 12 hours, he's not going to be charging you more. If it takes him 14 hours, he's not going to be charging you more, generally speaking. It just took him longer. So it's a flat rate. It's a big job. Once again, look at the whole picture. $18, $20, $30 plus $1,000, or the parts, if it was a freezer, let's say $2,000, $1,900, $2,000, and $2,000, that's $4,000. Or $18, $20, $30,000 for the freezer. Okay? You got to look at it relative. You really have to do that. You're going to get the whole thing restored, and you're going to get another 10, 15, 20 years out of it. So it's worth that little bit of money compared to brand new. I just want to let you know up front what the cost is, what the very possible cost is. I don't know what the service rate's going to be, the labor rate. I'm not going to tell you an exact figure. Service company can now walk into your home, though, and you've already been made aware. So when they say it's going to be $1,600, you're like, okay, because you know it's between $1,200 and $2,000, and he gave you a price of $1,600, and that relationship is a lot easier, especially the first breaking the ice between the two of you. It's not like, well, how come it's so much? You already know it's a huge job, okay? So tech service companies, be fair with them. You're getting a good day's work, okay? And I know it's a lot of work. So I suggest that you try to stay within that range. And most of the companies are somewhere in the mid-range there. If you get into certain areas like some of the big cities, Los Angeles, New York, they're just notoriously extremely high in their labor rates and their rates, just general rates. So, I have a difficult time actually helping customers in especially New York, because the service companies just want to come out and charge, say, it's going to be $3,000 to $5,000 labor. And I mean, where are you coming up with that? You're just ripping them off. So I just ask, please do this customer service. You're going to get a good job. It's a good day's job and decent amount of labor, and everybody's happy. So I like to get that out all up front, so that you know what the costs are going to be, and then before you even commit, you kind of know what you're looking at. Okay, I know that's unheard of, but that's the way I like to present this, because I'm going to be sending those parts out to the customer when they contact me and talk and verify everything and want to go ahead and get them ordered. And they'll be there when the service company shows up. Service company, you're not going to warranty the parts, so don't worry about it. You're going out, all you're doing is installing the parts, and they're factory parts. They're exact parts. You don't have to worry about that. I already said right up front, I get all SubZero parts, any parts that you need for refrigeration, refrigerator, freezer, whatever, any refrigeration system, not just refrigerator and freezer, but so they are the exact parts, okay? So don't worry about that. You're not going to warranty them. I'm going to warranty them. But that's why I'm going to want to talk to you. And the customer needs to let the service company know that. Not only do I manufacture some of those parts for like the evaporators that are no longer available and a couple other ones, but I also supply the parts, okay? So, and I'm warranting. So I want to talk to the service company, and I'm also a full-line tech, and I've done this job hundreds and hundreds of times. And I'm also a trainer. I was a national trainer for many years out of Scottsdale, Scottsdale Service Group. I don't believe they're still around. I believe he's gone. And I also have a training school I've had for 17 years, appliancerepairtechschool.com. So I know what I'm doing. And what I want to do is I just want to talk to you. I don't want to tell the service company what to do. I'm not going to do that. Okay, so don't worry about that. But what I want to do, if the customer has a hard time finding somebody, I've never worked on SubZero, and you're willing to do the repair, call me, service company, technician, and I'll say, look, just do this and this, that's the difference. And I'll walk you through it. I'll give you tips. And now you want to do the job because you're comfortable with it. The biggest part of it is not being comfortable, not knowing what to expect, so you really don't want to get into something you don't know. Don't worry about that. And the same thing with it. I've walked HVAC guys through it. I've walked actually car refrigeration. The guy was also a welder and used torches, and he had all the refrigeration equipment. So, but he did car refrigeration, and I walked him through it. Because he had the knowledge of torches and everything else. So if you have the knowledge, just knowing those little tips, that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to talk to you tech to tech, say, look, you need any help with this? If you do, I'm here. And I'm not going to charge you, but I'm there if you have any questions. It's really, a lot of the techs, they're leery up front, but once they talk to me, they realize I know what I'm doing. They actually end up contacting me. I run into this, I run into that, and I just walk them through it in a couple minutes, and boom, it's all successful. So that's the bottom line. Is it ends up being a successful installation restoration for the customer, so there's no issues. Nothing worse than getting out on a job and you run into something, you're like, I don't know how to do this. Somebody did this different. Get a hold of me, okay? I'm always available when somebody's doing the repair. So I want to be there. But the other thing is when I said I warranty the parts and I want to talk to the company, the thing is that techs were maybe I did it a few times when I was younger, but techs are really good about not blaming themselves if something happens. I try to, when I train techs, tell them you screwed up. Just be honest with them. Because customers can tell you if you're lying. And then they start to lose confidence. They don't say anything, but they can tell when you're making up stuff. So why do you do it? And there's a lot of techs, like if they leave a leak and they have to go back. The evaporator's got a leak. It came that way from the factory. No, it didn't. Because they're leak checked, okay? Compressor's not working, and you did something wrong. You wired it wrong, wired the relay wrong or something. Just admit to the customer, I made a mistake here, but we're going to fix it, and they appreciate that. And they have more trust in you when you do admit, because everybody's human. So just admit when you do something. But I'm vetting you, kind of, when I'm talking to you. So if you start talking about stuff that makes no sense, I'm just going to tell a customer I don't think he knows what he's doing. And but I'm not going to talk down about you unless you just have no clue. So if you're a real tech, I'll be able to tell that. You don't have to sell yourself because we use the same verbiage. When you start using words like you're inflating words, big words and stuff, you know how that is. Oh, it's like a doctor talking to somebody says they're a med student. And the med student starts talking about these big terms and everything, and the doctor's like rolling his eyes going, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Keep him away from patients. It's the same thing in any business. If you don't know what you do, you don't really do that business, you're going to be saying stuff that just makes no sense. So that's what I do, is just talk to you in normal terms. And if you start talking that garbage, there are companies and techs, and we all know it, that are out there doing stuff that they have no idea what they're doing. That's the ones I'm talking about. So when I run across one of those, I just tell the company, you know what, I don't think he knows what he's doing. I think I would suggest that you try to find somebody else. But on the same other side of the coin, like I said right from the start, if you're not sure about it and you don't really know exactly everything about it, that's different. It's the guys that, I know what I'm doing, and they have no clue what they're doing, and they destroy it. I got a few videos on YouTube where I've had to fly out to different states to clean up after messes, huge messes, where these techs have destroyed everything, using compression fittings when you're supposed to be brazing, and they're leaking like a sieve, and it's unbelievable. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to protect the customer and myself because I'm warranting the parts. So if you're telling them you destroy the evaporator because you're using oxyacetylene torch, 3,000 to 6,000 degrees, and you melt the aluminum, and you say it's the aluminum, the evaporator's problem, I'm going to say no. Because it was tested when it left, when it manufactured, and there's no leaks in it, you destroyed it. So you're going to have to pay for another evaporator. Bottom line, I'm going to protect the customer here. So just if you're not qualified and experienced, and you're using the wrong torch, and don't know how to use it, don't do the job for the customer. Okay, do everybody a favor. So that's what I do and I'm not a hard guy, nothing like that. Like I said, I'm just going to talk to you on technician terms. Talk about, is there anything that you might not be aware of on a SubZero or whatever? If there is, let me know. Otherwise, I just leave it alone. That's it. I'm not going to test you or anything else. Okay. So it gives the customer peace of mind. They're spending $2,000, $1,000 or $2,000 for a complete restoration kit. You don't need that, and I don't need the headache of trying to going into it with you, because I'm sending you quality parts out that work, and if you destroy it, customers shouldn't have to pay for another one. No. You need to own up to what you did wrong and that's going to come off your labor. That's just the way it works. And guys will blame the evaporator so they don't have to pay for it. No, that's not going to work. Because I'm not sending out bad parts, okay? So it's to protect the customer and to protect the tech as well. That I'm there, available, if you have any questions, okay? So, reach out. And the down-to-earth guys do. The ones that aren't know-it-alls, they contact me with their question. And we talk a couple minutes, and boom, they got it done. So, if you've gotten this, maybe you're not at that point where you had a service company in there yet that said, we can't fix it. But if you have, contact me. And I will tell you what the restoration kit costs for your unit by model number and serial number off the tag on the unit. If you email me, just go ahead and send a picture of that model and serial tag, so I have the model and serial, and I'll respond to you quickly and give you a price of what the restoration kit would be, either the sealed system or the complete. And they're on the website. And they're on the refrigerator part replacements.com. They're on there also. but they're on their own website as well. Not all the models are on there, so if it's not, don't worry about it. Just contact me. My email's on their website, on all my websites. It's RestoreYourSubZero.com. Real easy. RestoreYourSubZero.com. And that's dedicated just to restoration kits. And they're broken up by model down the page, and by refrigerators are at the top of the page, freezers are at the bottom. But there's an index at the top of the models that are on there. Click on refrigerators on the left, models. Models are on the right, on the index at the top of the page. Click on it and it'll take you down there to whatever model number you have, if it's on the page. If it's not, my email's on a page, email me. Send me a copy, like I said, a picture of the model serial tag. And generally speaking, on the refrigerators and freezers, the model serial tag is usually on the left-hand side. If you open the door, it's up by the top hinge with the door open, okay? You can't see it with the door closed. That's generally speaking where they are in the uprights units. If it's some other drawer unit or whatever, sometimes you have to open the drawer and it's on the ceiling. When you open it, you have to kind of, it's on the ceiling inside the drawer. Put the ceiling inside there. Or the side wall, the left side wall. It can be hidden on the drawer units. So if you're not sure where it's at, contact me, same thing. So I'm back to Scottsdale. I'm gonna cut this off because I guess keep talking. That's the way I am. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I want to make these available and start helping out people in Scottsdale and Phoenix and Tempe and the whole valley. I've been in San Diego doing this, but I've also been selling these all over the United States and the world. I just shipped out to England last week. So it's a very popular thing. It's a very, very big savings of money to restore your older unit. Like I said, it could be $3,000 or $4,000 to restore refrigerator. If it's $1,000 for the kit, and let's say $1,500, $1,600, it might be $2,600 to $3,000 for the refrigerator. Freezer might be $3,500 to $4,000. Even if you put both of those together, you're looking at $3,000, $4,000, $7,000, as opposed to 18 times 2, $36,000 plus the remodeling, so you're up to about $40,000 or $50,000. $7,000 or $40,000 to $50,000. Okay, this is why I'm saying, be relative here, consumers, customers. You're saving a lot of money, so please don't give them headaches about what the labor rate is. It is what it is. It's a lot of work. They got to pull the unit out. They got to disassemble it all. They get torches. I mean, it's just a lot of work and a lot of hours, okay? And if you're doing a double unit, refrigerator and freezer, customer, they're not going to probably do that in one day, okay? 6, 8, 10 hours for one unit. There's most of your day, okay? So you're going to usually split that up in 2 different days. A lot of times the refrigerator is the one that's more needy and the one that's failing. So you end up doing that one first and then do the freezer later. Another week, another day, whatever, different day. Okay, so it's a tremendous savings for you. It gets you a long life out of it, another 10, 15, 20 years. And it's hard to say. You never know. Contact me if you have any questions, okay? All right, so once again, it's Michael Riley. ABA Appliance is my appliance repair business. And RestoreYourSubZero.com is the restoration site. It'll be next to the video, also the website address. And then refrigeratorpartreplacements.com is where I have all the SubZero parts. Okay? All right. I'm glad to be back in Scottsdale area, and I missed it. I missed the heat, which is strange to say, but I did. But it's beautiful weather in San Diego. So, all right. Take care. Thank you. Look forward to hearing from you and helping everybody out. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.